you know, hey, Rob.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, Gino.
Thank you.
Eric, whatever you had was finger looking good, I see.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Bill, you're on.
Alrighty, do we want to call to order first, or do you want to make some introductions before we do?
Well, I did want to make an introduction that we have Catherine Christoph is our new Basalt Town engineer, and she just joined us. This is her third week. And Catherine, do you want to just say a couple words?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Susan. It's nice to meet you all. I'm excited to be with the town of Basalt. I come from Pitkin County most recently, but I've been working as an engineer in the Valley since 2006. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions or want to talk to me about any specific projects that are going on. So nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you as well, and welcome.
So we have Catherine working on a lot of our projects right now, the Two Rivers Road improvements, the Basalt River Park improvements, Albany Park Pool, and we're working on the town facility as well as all the building permits that we have, and a lot of other things. So we've put her to work well already, and you'll hear a little bit maybe from her a little later because we had her weigh in a little bit on the Lazy Glen wastewater treatment facility. So with that, Bill, I think we're ready to do the call to order.
All right, let's call to order Town of Basalt Planning and Zoning Commission meeting Tuesday, April 20th, 2021 at 6:09 p.m. Roll call, please, Susan.
Okay, Bill Marin,
Yo.
Kyle Oberketter,
Here.
Gina Rossetti,
Here.
Eric Volzek,
Here.
Michelle Tebow said that she would join us a little later. Bernie Grauer,
Here.
Rob Levitt,
Yes.
and Cindy Hirschfeld.
Here.
Okay, so we have a quorum, and Cindy, as the alternate, will be able to vote until Michelle joins us.
All righty, thank you, Susan. First off, we have to approve the minutes of March 16th, 2021. Does anyone have any changes or additions to make? And if not, do we have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a first, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, item 3A, public hearing for the purpose of considering an application submitted by Katie A. Kuhlenberg. This is the 57 Rivers Edge Court, and they wish to continue to July 6th, 2021. Do we have a motion to continue to that date?
Motion.
We have a first. Do we have a second? Second with Gino?
And then maybe we just have a little explanation for the public that might be watching this on TV. Sarah, do you want to explain the motion, and then if the applicants want to add anything they can?
Sure. We do have both of the applicants on the line here today, Ryan Jarvis and Catherine Kuhlenberg. They are looking for a special review for small daycare use at 57 Rivers Edge Court, and have requested that that the trial or the hearing be continued tonight due to House Bill 21-1222. And this is currently in the legislative session, which I understand will end June 12th. And at that time, if that does not pass through the legislative session, the applicants will wish to go forward with the special review application before the P&Z. The House bill could have impacts if it does pass on the town's ability to have any purview over this type of application as we read it. And of course, we would have our town attorney read and weigh in on this. And it does look like it would preclude a home daycare use from any type of review by the town that's over and above a regular residence. And so we are going to see what happens, I guess, at the state level. And if you have any questions or comments for the applicants, they are on the line today.
Any questions? I don't see any, so let's,
On this
you
one,
can do
Bill,
the-
we'll have to do a roll call.
yeah, we have to do a roll call. We can't do a show of hands.
We should do a roll call on it.
Okay, roll call vote, please, Susan.
Okay, Bill Marin,
Yo,
Kyle.
Clarify what we're voting on?
So the motion is to continue the application to July 6th at the applicant's request and to require the application to be re-noticed prior to the public hearing. So let's start over. Bill Marin,
yes.
Kyle Oberketter,
Yes.
Gino Rossetti,
Yes.
Eric Folzig,
Yes.
Michelle Tebow, absent. Bernie Grauer,
Aye.
Rob Levitt,
Yes.
Cindy Hirschfeld.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Alrighty. Thank you to the applicants for showing up and asking, or there for questions if we were to have them. Move on to item 4A, Pitkin County referral for Lazy Glen HOA application for water treatment facility. And Susan, we've looked at this before, haven't we?
No.
No. I
No.
thought we had a referral letter on this.
No, this is the
Proposed.
first time.
That was just a proposed one, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time that you've really seen this. This is a referral from Pitkin County. It's in our 3-mile planning area, and the town shows this outside of our urban growth boundary, but it's shown as existing land use on the Basalt master plan. And since I have been here, the lagoon at Lazy Glen has been a concern to everyone. The concern has been that it's been failing. A Merrick study was done in 2018. I think at that time they were estimating that it was going to cost the residents over $50,000 a piece to correct the problem, which is in an affordable housing community is daunting. There's been a couple different reports. One was the Merrick report in 2018, and then there was a floodplain report in 2019. Lazy Glen has obtained a grant from the United States Department of Agriculture, and the application has an end date that they have to finish construction by the end of the year. And they got a late start with this application. The application includes a number of different actions by Pitkin County. They were listed in your packet. I think the most important one for the P&Z to be aware of is just the review process is a simplified process where it goes directly to the county commission. So it'll be reviewed at one of their early meetings in June. The applicant is Glenn Horn from Davis Horn and Dean DeRozier from Merrick. They're representing the Lazy Glen HOA. And Catherine Christoph, when she worked at Pitkin County, was involved in some early discussions with this application. Since we had the application review, we had Catherine. I've talked to Glenn Horn, and also Catherine Christoph has talked to Glenn and to Dean DeRozier from Merrick about the application. So we put a referral letter in your packet because of the comments that the updates that we got from Dean DeRozier from Merrick, and because of our communication with the Roaring Fork Conservancy, we updated the letter, and the revised letter is in your packet. Glenn Horn was going to try to join us. He was joining us. He lives in Up Valley in a rural area, and apparently his internet isn't very good, so he was going to try to join us by phone, and I'm not seeing any indication that he's joined us yet. But
Excuse
Catherine,
me, Susan.
yep,
Glenn Horn was in the attendees list.
Oh.
I just promoted him.
okay. Glenn, can you hear us now? I was just giving a brief introduction to what the application is, and we were just kind of at the point where I was indicating that we had a revised letter in the packet. based on our conversations with you and with Dean DeRozier. And I was going to ask Catherine maybe if she could summarize the points in our letter and where we've made revisions.
Yeah, I can do that. So the main points in the letter were one, that we agree that this is an issue that needs to be addressed. The second is that the existing lagoon that is out there will be decommissioned, and we have some concerns about making sure that it's left in a safe condition, both as it relates to surface water, groundwater, and the fact that it's in the floodplain. We added a little bit more language to our comments on that, and also integrated some notes from the Roaring Fork Conservancy on just adequately addressing whatever reclamation plan that they might have for that. Or I don't know if reclamation is the right word, but at least like a capping or stabilization plan for the site. We also talked about just outlining at some point, I guess we say, was it prior to permit approval, how the new facility will be better for the community versus the existing conditions. There's a number of ways that it will improve the condition. And then also, we hope that the applicant could outline their strategies for protecting the new facility from the 100-year flood event, as it is in the floodplain. And then finally, after talking to Dean, we are assured that the new facility would just be sized to treat current treatment levels in the park. So it wouldn't allow for any expansion of the park, and just given the master plan that we have for that area, we just want to be sure that that is the intent of the scope, that it would just treat at current levels. So I think that summarizes our comments.
Glenn, Glenn Horn from Davis Horn is here. Glenn, would you like to add any comments?
I could just add that the existing sewage lagoon, which is what serves the Lazy Glen homeowners now, is in the floodplain, and it's going to be replaced by the wastewater treatment plant, which should be a significant improvement on the water quality of the Roaring Fork River, particularly because the sewage lagoon is within the floodplain. So if there was ever a catastrophic flood, it would be it would not be good for the water quality of the Roaring Fork River. So anyway, it's a good project for the entire valley, and I think the challenge that we face between now and the hearing before the Board of County Commissioners is to get a little more information about how to reclaim the current sewage lagoon, which is pretty big and it's entirely in the floodplain, and how to make sure that nothing that could damage the water quality of the Roaring Fork River leaches out of the old sewage lagoon. And to that end, it'll be properly reclaimed. And we're going to look into what the best way to do that is in terms of perhaps putting down soil material on top of the existing surface, and then landscaping with native grasses over that, so that we've ensured that it's protected in the event of a flood that would go through the sewage lagoon. So with that, I'm available for any questions, but I think that's the biggest challenge we face right now.
And I guess I will just add that staff acknowledge the fact that it may take a little time to iron out some of those details, and we understand that the project should proceed because it's a needed thing, and if there's a way to do it, perhaps some of the details of the reclamation or stabilization plan be figured out, in the coming months, and but the project should proceed overall.
It's my understanding in dealing with Colorado Public Health on this type of issue before, that any sort of package treatment plant in any circumstance is better than a lagoon, whether it's a decommissioned lagoon or a working lagoon. They're always preferable, always cleaner, and always safer. Does that meet with anyone else's understanding?
It's my first sewage lagoon.
But you know, it's no matter what we do, there's still going to be a lagoon in the floodplain, and so the most we can do to get rid of it is probably the best.
Yes, I think that's true.
Are we having discussion questions now, Bill?
No. I just wanted to state that as a question to the town engineer, see if she concurred with that.
Yes, I concur. I definitely think the proposed condition will be better without a doubt. It's just some of the details around the unique case that this is going to be located in the floodplain. I think it's appropriate to make sure we have a best case scenario going forward into the future.
Okay, well, let's, I just wanted to interject that because I've had a fair amount of experience with these things in the past. So any other, let's run through everybody and see if anyone has questions of staff about it. Eric, no? No? Gino, do you have any questions?
No, I thought the letter was well written by staff.
All right, thank you. Rob, do you have any questions?
Well, a question, I think maybe Glenn answered it. I was going to ask if they needed to do some kind of soils test for the existing, or if maybe material had to be removed before it was covered over.
So Glenn, I think Robert Levitt, Commissioner Levitt was asking you that question actually. You're on mute.
Okay, so the problem that we've got with the sewage lagoon is it's entirely in the floodplain. So we need to be careful about any additional material that might go in. I don't know whether it's necessary to remove any of the material. I think often in this case, the thing that you want to do is make sure that it's revegetated and covered. But I really don't know whether material needs to be removed. That's something I can discuss with Dean DeRozier, the engineer for the project. But I think that the plan is to cover what's there and get vegetation to grow over it.
And I know Dean, I trust Dean. I just didn't know if it was contaminated soil, that if they need to be tested or removed, but that's a question for you guys. And I don't know if we want that reflected in the letter, Susan, Bill.
So are you suggesting that maybe they do a soils test of what's in the lagoon so we know what's in there?
I assume there's experts that deal with this stuff, and I won't pretend to know how it should be handled. I don't want to delay the project or impose costs that aren't necessary, but it's just an item I have a question about.
Well, I mean, it's something we can certainly look at, and I can discuss it with Dean, and we can talk with the county environmental health officer who would deal with something like this.
That would satisfy me. I don't know if we need to include it in the letter or not.
Well, the other thing that we could do is, you know, we have the Roaring Fork Conservancy suggest, you know, we have that as the last sentence, and they're willing to play a role in the reclamation. So maybe we just add something there that
that might be out of their field of expertise.
I think we should leave this to the engineer. So did you want to, let's, when we go to comments, let's talk about this as an item to add to the letter or not.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Cindy, do you have any questions?
I do not. I thought the P&Z letter was very thorough.
All right, thank you. Bernie, questions?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. Kyle, do you have any questions of the applicant or staff?
Nope.
All righty, let's go to comments quickly. Eric, comments. Do you have any comments to make on this or additions to make to the letter?
No, letter looks good.
All right, Gino, question?
No, I'm contented with the letter as it is.
Okay, good. Rob, do you want to back to your comment? Do you want to add that as an item, or do you strengthen one of the items in a certain way?
It seems like maybe add a letter to the paragraph with Roaring Conservancy that the engineers examine the issue of contaminated soil, or the best way to handle it. Maybe leaving it there is the best way. I don't know.
All right, if there is anything that's contaminated there. So let's, anyone else want to weigh in on this? Cindy, do you have any comments to make on this or comments about Rob's letter addition?
No, I don't.
Okay, Bernie, do you have any comments to make about this, including Rob's addition?
I'm good with the letter and Rob's addition.
Okay. Kyle, same question.
Just a typo on comment 2, first sentence. The applicant states that the existing lagoon be dried up. It should be will be dried up, right? That's it.
Yes.
Good catch.
All right, do we have any, do we have a motion with Rob's changes in it? Gino has a first.
No,
No, you don't?
not with Rob's. Go ahead.
I
Somebody
make
else.
the motion.
You make the motion. Okay, do we
Yes.
have a second?
So the motion is to include, Rob, could you clarify your addition there?
A sentence suggesting the soils be tested for contamination and advice on if it needs to be remediated.
So how about just a sentence suggesting that the soil be tested and the engineer give consideration to the
Tested if the engineers deem that necessary.
Okay, okay,
I'm fine if they don't need it, think anything needs to be done.
okay. Okay,
Okay, we have a first. Do we have a second?
Second it.
Gino will second it. So we have a first, we have a second. Do we need a roll call vote, Susan, or just show of hands?
let's just do a roll call vote, then we're for sure. Bill Marin,
Yes.
Kyle Oberketter,
Yes.
Dino Rossetti,
Yes.
Eric Volzek,
Yes.
Michelle Tebow, absent, Bernie Grauer,
Aye.
Rob Levitt,
Yes.
Cindy Hirschfeld.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. So we're good. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you,
Thanks
Glenn.
for talking so much with us. We really appreciated it.
Okay, item 5A, P&Z representative and alternate for Capital Needs Committee. Susan, do you want to take this?
Okay, so at the last meeting, I explained the Basalt Forward 2030 project. There's 2 pieces of this. The first piece is looking at all the different town-owned buildings and facilities. And then the second piece is looking at starting with the projects that are listed in the Basalt Master Plan, and making recommendations. The recommendations will be given to the Basalt Town Council by a Capital Needs Committee. And what the town has chosen to do is create a Capital Needs Committee that's made of a representative of most of the committees in the town of Basalt. So we have P&Z, we have Basalt Affordable Community Housing, we have Parks, Open Space and Trails, we have the Basalt Emergency Management Committee, we have the Vale Committee, which is the victim Victims Awareness Committee, and there's a representative of the chamber, and there's also a representative from the Basalt Public Arts Commission. So that committee will start meeting mid-May. The idea is that they would make recommendations to the town council in August 10th. They have the recommendations will be used either one to update our capital improvement plan. The town also has bonds that are retiring in the next couple of years. So the question really is, do you want to keep the same tax levy and use the tax revenue for these projects that are listed in the master plan and maybe some additional town facility improvements? So that's how the recommendations will be used. And at the last meeting, we talked about the committee, and we had 4 volunteers. We had Bill Marin, we had Eric Volzek, we had Michelle Thibault, and we had Gino Rossetti. The other thing I should probably say, if I didn't say it in the memo, is that the idea is that some of these meetings eventually would be held in person. So now that most people have vaccinations and the threat of COVID is reduced, the town's gonna evaluate how to kind of unroll those kind of meetings. So what we thought we would do is, I talked it over with Ryan Mahoney, and the fact that we had 4 interested parties. What we're making a recommendation on is 1 representative and an alternate. I included the bylaws in the packet, so if you have questions on the role of the alternate, it's a little different than on the P&Z. I can answer those questions. And one of the things I talked about with Ryan is, since we had 4 interested parties, if you guys wanted to, and everyone still wanted to participate, we could have you send your vote for your representative to Pam and to me, and then we would tally the votes, and the top one would get the representative position, and the second would get the alternate. And that's kind of a check-in that everyone that kind of raised their hand that they were interested in being the representative was still interested. So maybe.
Sue, my boss, my wife, reminds me that my hearing is failing every day. So I would like to withdraw my ability to be a representative, and I would like to throw my vote onto Eric.
Thank you, Gino.
See, Susan, you're not my only boss.
Well, I know the real boss is Donna, and when I want to make you do something, that's who I call. So
should we hear from our candidates?
Rob, I didn't hear you. Would you say it again?
A 2-minute speech from the candidates?
You really want to extend this that far?
Go, let's Rochambeau.
That works too. I flip a coin if you want, Bill.
Yeah, no, I think I like the way Susan has it. We'll just vote in private and call it that way. But but if you want to hear a little spiel, it's since Michelle's not here, it's just Eric and me. But I wanted to do it just because it was a continuation of the master plan, which I was heavily involved with, and I wanted to follow up. I mean, it's something that was of such a high priority to all of us, and I was engaged with that process, and I still am, and like to continue to be. But I'd like to hear what Eric has to say about it as well. Eric, do you want to weigh in on your reason for doing this?
Sorry, yeah, I just froze for a second. So, I mean, similar idea, of coming, following through on the master plan. I am excited. I've got I've got a bug in my ear about an environmental project that I would love to kind of throw out to the community and see if they can get behind it, which I know is one of the major factors being addressed. Summer's a good time for me. I got more free time to be available and to do it. I think I got the best interests of our work that we've done on P&Z. So just would be kind of interested to pay it forward.
So,
yes, Rob, go ahead.
no, Susan or Pam, will she send out voting reminders in the morning?
Well, do you think you really need to think about it, or do you want to just send we could do it. One way to do it is just everybody vote in real time and they email Pam S. It's really easy and me and both of us.
So Pam is with us and.
Yeah, Pam is with us and I'm with you. I don't know if we can tally it really quick, but.
You want just one choice or first and second, or?
I think I want just one choice. Let's do one choice, and that way we'll just, the top one will get the position and the second one gets the alternate position.
And it's Bill, Eric, and Michelle?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Bill, Maren, Eric, and Michelle.
And so Susan, you want us to vote, send an email to you and
Pam, right. That way I can't tamper with the results.
Oops.
And Pam's our town clerk.
Do you want us to do that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Pam's email? I just have townhall@basalt.
Oh, just that works, but Pam S at basalt.net. And that town hall works.
I'm sorry, Bill, what are we waiting for? I didn't hear that.
You're all voting.
We're all voting.
You're sending your vote. And since you already said you're gonna vote for Eric, you could send that to me and Pam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you going to announce who's you've received?
I'm not gonna read who voted for who, and that's the purpose of why we're doing this. And then I'll tell you the vote record.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
let us know if one of ours didn't get through is all I'm saying.
Oh, sure, we'll do that.
Bernie, I'm hovering over you for your vote.
Yeah, well, it's tough to hover on Zoom, isn't it?
Well, he's physically on top of you on my screen. So Susan, are you tabulating or is Pam?
I'm not ready.
You're muted, Susan.
You ready to jump in the car? I am too. Just about done. only showing my impatience, Bill, because my wife is waiting with me with a glass of wine to go look at the sunset in the ocean.
Well,
Rub it in, Gino.
Gino, if you want to leave right now, that's fine with me. 'Cause I know who the boss really is.
Hey, Susan, you're muted.
Gino actually technically hasn't sent me an email yet. Are we taking his vote by just saying what it is, Bill?
Yeah, he already said, so just take it.
Okay, and I'm going back on mute.
I feel like we need that game show theme music. Is it Jeopardy, the one that's like da na 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 na?
Alex is no longer with us.
I know.
Except it's elections. This could go until 2 a.m. No hanging chads, Bill.
Where's this is voter fraud?
Probably rigged.
Yep. Where's my pillow guy when we need him?
So our member is Eric and our alternate is Bill.
Yay.
Okay.
Congratulations to both of you.
Represent us well.
Thank you. Good.
All right. And I think the next item on the agenda then is just and commissioner comments.
Okay, so we're all right. Let's move on to staff updates, commissioner comments, but I want to start off with a question to staff. In that you already kind of brought it up, and we're talking about unwinding the Zoom meetings and going back to in-person. Are we going to do that for planning commission meetings as well?
What we've been talking about, and nothing's been finalized, is to do a hybrid system. And it's really not developed yet. On the town council, they were talking about bringing the town council all the way into town hall and then doing the public by remotely so that they wouldn't come into town hall. But we have some real technical challenges. If you notice now, none of the staff is in the council room. We're all in our own rooms because with this webinar system, you can't have everybody in because the sound system doesn't work. And so they're trying to work that out for Aspen and they're trying to work it out for us. If you guys have a preference for how you would like to conduct your business for a while, you know, I'm sure that your thoughts would be taken into consideration. My initial thought was that we would start meetings that might be mixed, that people that weren't comfortable in terms of commissioners could still participate remotely for a while, and those that were comfortable coming in could come in. Personally, I have a hard time with the mass. In early days, we participated in some meetings with Eagle County where commissioner, their P&Z was wearing masks and you really couldn't hear. So I personally struggle with people meeting and still wearing masks. So I welcome your ideas and I can run them up the flagpole, but.
Well, let's just run it through the list with comments. Eric, do you want to start about this? How do you feel?
I'm fine going live. I'm fine doing this. I think, you know, I've been vaccinated. You know, I've had the disease and I'm over it. I feel pretty comfortable being there, but I want to respect everybody's wishes and desires.
All right, thank you. Gino, how do you feel about this?
Really don't. I'm neutral.
Okay. Rob, your feelings, please.
I would prefer that we met in person, but I think we need to have a unanimous vote about that.
Yep, I agree with that.
Would you be okay with the hybrid method?
Some people in person, some people out.
Yes.
I don't think that's the best way to go.
Okay. Cindy, your thoughts, please.
I'm okay with either option. And I think to Susan's point, maybe, if we meet and don't have masks, maybe, that we can social distance enough to make it plausible to meet without masks so we can be better heard.
All right, thank you. Bernie, your thoughts?
I strongly wish to continue the Zoom. I find it efficient and expeditious and zero risk. I would not feel comfortable meeting in person.
All righty, thank you, Bernie. Kyle, your thoughts, please.
I'm up for either one. I think if we have to wear masks, then it kind of defeats the purpose again for hearing each other and for any legality issues if the recording is off. So if we're meeting in person, I think we'd have to have no masks, but that's just me.
All right, thank you. I'll give them way on my thoughts. I kind of agree with Cindy and Kyle. I'd be okay with in person. The masks, it's just hard to hear through them. And Susan, I agree with you on that as well. But I think most of us are vaccinated, and if we could get socially distancing and do it without masks, I think that would be good if everyone's comfortable with that. Doesn't look like Bernie is, but I for one am comfortable with a hybrid format. And I also, and this has been a beef of mine for a long time, that if we do go back to in-person meetings, that we do have a carnivore food option, please.
Well,
will-
you may not,
I
that
will not-
actually might be part of the COVID thing, is actually the eating thing. So, and remember, we do have a mandatory mask right now. We're under mandatory masks, and so the council is going to consider the mask ordinance, the extending it at next Tuesday's council meeting. So regardless, right now, we are masks.
And all that being said, I think the Zoom meetings, until this is sorted out, work okay. I don't mind them.
I've never known any different.
Well, the poor council, they were never, they really have only had a couple retreats where they've been able to meet in person outside. And, that's another option, is to do it outside. Bernie, if we did it outside, would you be comfortable? Didn't you participate last?
Yes, I did participate and I would be comfortable outside. I don't see how you can't introduce some risk if you're in a room, unless it has advanced HEPA filtering and, like they do on airlines. Especially if you're bringing in the public and you're bringing in various applicants and their professional, collaborators. So I just don't feel comfortable in a room with a bunch of people.
Understand that.
Okay, Susan, let's get back to, I think we've beat this one up pretty hard. Staff updates and commissioner comments.
Well, I think in terms of staff updates, I think the P&Z knows about everything that's happening. The Basalt Town Council approved phase 1 of the Basalt River Park improvements at their last meeting. They also approved a resolution moving ahead on Two Rivers Road, Albany Park. Pool improvements are marching along. In terms of development review, the biggest application that we have right now is the Cypress Meadows Parcel 5, which is 155 units off of Willets Lane and near the lake. And we don't have a date really where that will be in front of the P&Z. We've asked them for additional information, and we indicated that we needed a certain amount of time after we receive that to schedule it for our technical review committee, which means staff. And the additional questions had mostly to do with traffic and how the proposal works traffic wise. Lots of different requests, a lot of construction going on. I know Rob wanted us to visit the 5G. We didn't put it on this meeting because of the issue with, we really thought the 57 Rivers Edge Court application would take all of your
Excuse me.
We'll have that at an upcoming meeting. And I can't think of anything else really to add to that, but I'm here for questions. And we're very glad to add Catherine. So that was really extremely helpful with what we're doing right now.
I think it's really great that we have a professional in-house engineer again. I think it's very important that we do that. And also I wanted to ask you a question about the Performing Arts Center on Willits. How's that coming? It looks like it's getting finished.
Yes, they should be, I think they were looking for their CO in June. They were looking, this year they were gonna do most of their events in the garden behind the Taka. So the town's giving them, using some of the real estate transfer assessment funding, kind of a kickstart to kind of help with the funding of that. So they'll be having events starting this summer. That'll be cool. Very cool building. If you want to do a site visit, it might be exciting for you guys to do that. Just let me know and maybe I'll try to arrange something and give me a clue of when you'd like to do it. It's a very, I don't know if you've heard about how energy efficient it is. We have two extremely great environmental buildings going on right now, the Aspen Skiing Company and the Takaz building, because both of them are electric. And Taka, interestingly enough, because it was built with such insulation for sound, it was really, they were so much further ahead in getting to that close to net zero aspect of this. So that was way cool with those two buildings.
That is cool. I would like to definitely go on a tour. So if anyone else would, let Susan know. Yeah,
just let me know and maybe a day or, when would work for you. But it's pretty impressive. It was, and maybe we could arrange something with the Aspen Skiing Company that you could see that before it's occupied. That might be another one where it might be worthy of you guys seeing, even though you saw what the snowmass units look like, to see how these are built out.
We do walk through as a P&Z on the buildings, or try and arrange that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Instead of doing it individually, it sounded like you were suggesting.
Oh no, I was thinking about doing it as a group,
Yeah, okay.
because that way I can get Ryan Honey, I can get a couple people to join us and explain things.
Okay, great.
If it's not individual, if it's individual, then it's a little harder to get, three people to give us information.
I think especially on the ski company building, it's really important for us as we contemplate other affordable housing projects to kind of get a sense of those type of things and what works, what doesn't, what other people have done. And this is a brand new one before it's occupied, would be a good thing for us all to see.
Okay, good.
When is that one supposed to be completed?
Same thing, this, temporary CO starting this spring.
Huh.
Is that fence that's broken up, is that a permanent fence or is that just during construction?
That is a permanent fence.
That's installed backwards, isn't it? The flat section should face away from the property so the public is seeing the actual fence, not just maybe for the building department, but.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys are going to notice, but we did the Basalt Public Arts Commission commissioned muralists, and so they're going to be starting to paint murals around town, and they're going to be painting that fence, some of that fence. So if you see them, they're not tagging; they're actually painting this.
Do you know when that mural project is supposed to be completed, Susan?
Well, they're just signing they're just signing the contracts now. You know, it's just kind of being worked through. So I would say really in the next couple months, you'll be seeing some things.
Well, they already started the Willits one.
Yeah, they already started the Willits one. They started the Willits one on the fence.
Mm.
But the other one, that's the only one that we actually have the signed contract. The other ones are just working their way through. That one we had to do early because of the irrigation, the landscaping that's going to be on the berm, around the fence.
Susan, I was wondering if we get updates on the 10-acre PUD and also the Tanya Dibbs project in Elk Run.
Yes, 10-acre PUD. Why don't I send you an email on that? Because I actually don't think it's totally through its county approval, but we were allowing some street work, some utility connection to have a road cut permit there, but I actually don't think they have their final approval. I'll find out for you on that.
But that can either be, you can send that to me, or you can make that part of the updates next time we convene.
Okay, I'll do that.
And did it with Tanya.
Okay. So that's all I have. Any other questions?
Any comments from anybody to add? No? All righty. It seems like we've run our course. Does anyone have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion.
Oh, we have three. Two of you, please. Let's see.
I thought Rob was fastest.
Yeah, Rob was fastest, and it's up with Bernie or Eric. You guys can fight it.
Give it to Eric. Eric can have the glory.
Yeah, let Eric have the glory because he won the vote.
There you go.
All right, we have a first, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all very much. You have a very pleasant evening.
If you have ideas, let me know.
I'm curious to hear the environmental.
Eric,
Yeah, keep it green.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.